Hi there, and welcome to the First Hero Life Facebook Live. I'm so glad you're here. Hopefully, you will tune in and learn some interesting information. My name is Scott McMillan. I am a life coach and a business coach, and I've just published my first book, Be the Hero of Your Life. And it's available now on Amazon, and you can get it at www.herobook1.com. So, anyways, I thought I'd jump on here and just and start talking about great, fun, interesting personal development, self-help. I'd like to talk about manifesting, meditation, visualization. I love science. Quantum physics is amazing. And of course, my whole coaching system is based on the hero's journey. And I'd love to talk more about the hero's journey. Like I said, my book is Be the Hero of Your Life. I believe that we're all heroes. And in the book, I talk a lot about how you can go through the hero's journey and put yourself in the hero's journey, just like you see the movie stars and the superheroes on the big screen. So anyways, before I dive in, let me quickly talk a little bit about my story so you know who the heck you're listening to here. I grew up in Montana in a nice middle-class, neighborhood and a family. I went to college there, graduated with a psychology degree, got in my car, drove to the East Coast, and started my life out there. And I became an entrepreneur about 10 years ago after I decided I needed to fulfill my dream, which is always to go into business and be an entrepreneur. And so I've done that for the last few years. I've had different businesses, but I could always tell there was something a little bit missing. And I'll get to that in a minute, but none of my businesses really fulfilled my purpose, which I think that I'm doing now. And I took my hero's journey and found my purpose through that. So the hero's journey, if you don't know, Joseph Campbell, he was an American mythologist and in the 40s and 50s, and he studied all the cultural myths and the indigenous cultures of the world and stories and movies, and he realized that there's one main storyline that goes through all these stories, and that's following the path of the hero, who at the beginning doesn't know that they're a hero, they don't want to be a hero, something happens, pulls them into the adventure, and they go on this journey. They either find the treasure or kill the dragons, or find the glory at the end of their journey, right? And then they return home to tell the community or their village or whatever about the wild trials that they've had, and to bring back the treasure. So I was watching that, or I was realizing that I'm my own hero in my own journey. And so I had this book percolating in my head, and it just popped out that we're all heroes. And if we can go back and put our lives into the 12 stages of the hero's journey, that we can really understand at what points in our life we were heroes, what points in our life that we just really were too afraid and we didn't have the courage to move forward, but that we really are heroes. And by putting your life into the hero's journey in the 12 stages, you understand yourself better than you ever have. And you understand that who you are today was based on these things in the past. And it's a fun, interesting way because you can kind of relate to the movies as the heroes like Luke Skywalker and Superman go through their trials. We've all done the same thing, right? And so from there, you can go on to figure out, now here's what I need to do to finish my journey or to become the superhero that I really want to be. So it's a great grounding spot. So the end of my journey kind of came when I realized that I wanted to be a life coach. I wanted to help people. And I wrote this book and I got my life coaching certification. And that was the culmination of this first journey. And the journey is usually depicted in a circle because as soon as you finish one journey, you start on your next one. So anyways, so all that is outlined in my book, and Be the Hero of Your Life. You can get it at www.herobook1.com. And I hope you guys don't mind me pitching my book. I'm an entrepreneur, as I assume a lot of you are entrepreneurs also. And the way this works is that I'm going to come on here and talk about coaching and manifesting and personal development. And if you find some value in that and you're interested in those topics, hopefully you'll find value in these Facebook Lives. And if you want to work with me further or read my book, then I'm going to give you that opportunity. And so I hope that's okay. Anyways, briefly, let me talk about the 5-step process that you go through in Be the Hero of Your Life. So the first thing is you take your hero's journey. So you look at your life, you look at the past, and you place yourself into the 12 stages of the hero's journey, and gives you a really good basis for figuring out, okay, here's who I am today based on what I've gone through. You might have even figured out some limiting beliefs, some events that have caused you some limiting beliefs that you're living with now, and you want to go here. So the next stage is to unearth some of these limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And now we want to reprogram those limiting beliefs into powerful, positive statements that we can use to anchor in to get to where we want to be. So the limiting beliefs that we've held for most of our life probably are holding us back from really achieving. Do we want to get that next promotion? Do we want to get a new job? Do we want that relationship to happen? Or what do we want? And do we want to start a business? Going on the hero's journey, identifying your limited beliefs, and then reprogramming them is the way that you can get to where you want to be in that successful, purpose-driven life. Now, when you've reframed those negative beliefs into positive beliefs and emotions and thoughts, you've got to anchor them in. So we use guided meditation to get our brain into alpha state, and then we use powerful visualizations to lock in that new you. And so that's as simple as that. And so this is the 5-step process that I go through. So before we leave today, let me dive in a little bit more about the hero's journey and why it's so important to me and why I base my whole coaching system around the hero's journey. So there's basically 3 main phases in the hero's journey. There's 12 stages and 3 phases. The phases are preparation phase, the journey phase, and the return phase. So today let's talk about the preparation phase and the first 4 stages in the preparation phase, and why it's interesting and helpful to use the hero's journey concept to put your life in there and understand where you're coming from. And again, so it's kind of a fun way because we can say, well, I've seen that the heroes on the big screen do this. I've done the same thing. I've struggled to do these same things. So it's a really good personal development tool. So anyways, the first 4 are the ordinary world. So that's where the hero, which is us, a hero in the story, is just living their life in the normal place. They're just status quo, everything's cool, they don't know anything's wrong or whatever, and something happens. So stage 2 is the call to adventure. So now they're either being called, like there's a knowing that, oh, there's something more out there for me, I've got to go find it, or something happens, right? Something catastrophic that pushes them out of their comfort zone. Now they're in their journey. So this could be a divorce, the death of a loved one, bankruptcy, getting laid off, getting a new job. These are big life events that have put you now into this new world, this unknown world that you've got to deal with, right? So you're on your journey. So the third stage is refusal of the call. Now, a lot of times, whether we're being called somewhere or we get pushed out into the special world, we don't want to go. We're afraid. We don't want change, right? And so you refuse that call. It's like, no, thank you, but no, I'm going to stay right here where it's comfortable. And so we tend to do that. Now, the problem with that is that the universe is calling you. It's either calling you or it's forcing you to get out of your comfort zone. And if you don't listen to it, it's going to keep coming back and back until you finally listen to it, say, okay, I better get on my journey, figure out what this is all about. And so the next step is you're going to meet mentors. You're going to meet people in your life that are going to help you through that journey. And you'll meet some mentors. People will give you courage. They'll say, look, I'll be here with you. I'll take your hand and help you throughout this journey. So those are the first 4 stages. The next set, and we'll talk about that in another Facebook Live, though, is that's when you cross the threshold. That's the first stage of the second phase. And so you got up the courage. You said, oh, you're going to going to do this, you've got the mentors, and then you cross over that. So we'll talk more about that in the next couple of Facebook Lives. But that gives you a basic idea of, one, what the hero's journey is, how you can use it, and the movies that you watch to actually use that as a personal development tool. And that's what I do in all my coaching. And that's what's in the book. And so again, you get the book at www.herobook1.com. And it's only $3.99 on Kindle. So pick it up if you're at all interested in learning what your purpose is and doing it in a fun way with the movies that you see. So I go over different movies and how they plug into the hero's journey and how they relate to you as a person that is going through their own journey. So thank you. I hope you got some value out of this and enjoyed this. If you haven't already, like my page, J. Scott McMillan, and that way you'll get notified when I do new Facebook Lives or I put up new content. And if you want to check out the book, herobook1.com. Thanks, and we'll talk to you next time.